Knicks head to Chicago on the second of a back-to-back against a hot Chicago Bulls team, man. A team that you certainly have to respect. But the Knicks defense stepped up, kept them in the game, and kept them within striking distance to take this one. You saw encouraging play from your point guard, Kemba Walker, Julius Randle turning up in the third quarter. But the fourth quarter, as Bill Belichick would say, the other team just made more plays than we did, man. 3 3-point shots from Kobe White, the Knick killer, to start this thing off. And in the end, their close is closed. And ours just couldn't get the job done. Knicks fall 109-103. Going to that third quarter, I was very much encouraged by what I saw from an energized Kemba Walker. 7 points, 3 dimes in that third quarter was big. The first 3 possessions was all in Kemba's hands. And again, as we say, it all happens off of Kemba's drives and aggressiveness. He drove in the paint, got a mid-range shot. Drove in the paint, found Noel for the Gotham lob. Drove in the paint, got a nice tough layup. First 3 possessions of the third quarter was Kemba Walker. We saw him and Julius, a 1-2 connection going on. I saw a pick and roll with Kemba and Julius. I said, what is this? This is a miracle. I couldn't believe my eyes, bro. I couldn't believe what I was watching. So all that was good. Kemba 7 points in that third, Julius 13 points in that third. But fourth quarter, I just felt like we just got out executed. And the chess match between Billy Donovan and Tibbs was interesting the whole entire night because Bulls went small. No Vucevic, no Patrick Williams. Bulls were going small with Bradley in the middle. It started the game off with Julius having to guard Caruso, which I thought got interesting. Now, we finished with a closing lineup of Julius and 4 guards. It was Rose, Burks, IQ, RJ, and I just felt like to close the game, Julius had it going, bro. I can't. It's hard to really knock him on a 34-10, and the way the way he shot the ball well, efficiently, and was killing him. But I just felt like again we just got too stagnant, too much isolation, and too predictable. And I felt like we didn't take advantage of the 4 ball handlers that we had out there, 4 playmakers, to really get them going and get the ball moving.
Started off a little rough for the offense, just for the Knicks to get into it. Then we see them end the first quarter, getting back in the game. Second quarter came out strong, especially from the second unit. Julius was just on fire all night. Third quarter, I liked what I saw from the third quarter, even though it didn't end the way I liked that effort. I like the defensive intensity that we saw from the Knicks. It's definitely different from what we saw, especially in between from the opening night against the Boston Celtics. I was happy about that. I think the thing that really struck out was that we were double teaming guys in the third and fourth quarter that we didn't need to double team and just left guys wide open for 3, whether that was Lonzo Ball, Kobe White. Those are key moments that really shifted the game for us when we were in it. Yeah. And then just put it in their favor. I also think Kemba Walker should have been in there towards the end of the game because him and Julius, as you pointed out, him and Noel, the way he was playing, he was giving that offense that we needed in the third quarter. And I think we needed someone as a facilitator outside of Julius tonight to end the game because the ball became a little too stagnant in the fourth quarter. Bro. Yeah, we saw too much isolation. Just give it to Randle, whether it was Rose bringing it up, pass it to Randle, pass it right back to D Rose and right back to Randle, whatever guard brought it up. They'd always give it to Randle, and somehow it came back in Randle's hand, and then we waited until 5 seconds left in the shot clock, just do something. And that's not efficient offense. Now we're just putting too much pressure on Randle to do something instead of getting good ball movement. And you can even see how the game ended. You saw the Bulls have 21 assists. Knicks ended with 16. Not enough ball movement from this team, and that really is what puts opponents, just really helps opponents out when we're just stop moving the ball. Yeah. No one's just able to. You don't have to fly around.
Especially a defense like this, one of the best half-court defenses in the league. You got to make them move.
We see this way too often too, because, and this is been my gripe throughout this entire season. And we saw it. It was better against the Celtics. It was better earlier in the season where we had some better ball movement, but now it's just gone away where we rely heavily on Randall to be this guy to do everything. And I know Derrick Rose has mentioned it throughout the season so far, where Randall's adapting to a new role, right? He's taking that step up from what he had to do last season. Even though he was the guy last season, he was the primary offense. Now he's not only the primary offense, but it looks like they're trying to make him the primary playmaker as well to help generate that offense. And last season, it was more so like a two-man game between him and Reggie. He would get it out to RJ, and that was really it in the first unit. Now we're talking about, okay, we have three other guys that you're trying to work with, three other guys who are now playmakers as well and can shoot. And I think that's just a different dynamic that Randall's not used to. So what we need to do is just lighten that pressure. And I think that's more so giving it to Kemba. And Kemba looked like he was ready to go. That's where I think I had to put this one on Tiz, where he's not necessarily reading what his players are doing in the moment. Mm-hmm. And when you see Kemba being able to attack and having that type of game and being efficient right at the third, that's where you're saying, okay, I know he hasn't had it other nights, but second of a back-to-back,
I would have let him
usually
rock,
doesn't
bro.
play in the fourth quarter. Yeah, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, like, if you want to go back to some bad, I thought despite RJ just being atrocious from the perimeter, you know, it was tough because his shot was abysmal. His free throw shooting was once again abysmal, 5 of 8, and 15 boards. You know, and I thought for the most part, I liked his defense out there, particularly against Levine for most of the game. So, but you got to make your shots, man. You got to make your shots. I mean, between RJ and Fournier, we just didn't get enough, again, from our starting unit and from our starting wings. You know, RJ 2 of 12 from the field, Fournier 1 for 7. Your two wings went 3 for 19, 0 for 5 from 3. It's hard to win that way. Even though we got contributions off the bench, just hard to win that way.
I think this is kind of important to point out, and it's kind of becoming more apparent to me. I think Tom Thibodeau, and I'm a Tom Thibodeau guy, but I think this has to be said, he's turning into the Mike McCarthy of the New York Knicks. And what I mean by that is, with Mike McCarthy, it's clock management. And with us, it's substitutions. That man is stubborn, and he's not getting the message. But I still believe in Tom. But tonight, it just goes to show. Derrick Rose is in there. I think that's one of Derrick Rose's most atrocious performances that he's been here in New York that I've ever seen, because he's there for offensive transition, and, well, it wasn't there tonight. I mean, defensively, Derrick wasn't – it was an off night for Derrick. Kemba should have been in there. And he didn't. I don't know what Tom was thinking. I can understand why he wanted Julius back in the game, because Julius was really efficient tonight. Funny enough, I'm not blaming Julius tonight. He was actually great tonight. But Obi Toppin, I can understand why he kind of had a tough decision subbing him out for Julius. But a lot of just the question, there's a lot of questions going on with. I can't lie with Tom's rotations. I don't know what's going on with him. Alex is showing that he's shooting the ball better tonight. Emmanuel wasn't as bad. Again, he's playing well. But you guys said it earlier. I wish Mitchell was in there, because, you know, he would have at least made a couple of these guys like Zach LaVine. Anybody who would have tried to come in the paint, he would have reared their shot. Yeah. Regardless, we're obviously off to Phoenix, you guys. So now it's going to get tough, because we're headed into the dog days, like they say in baseball. We're heading into the dog days of the winter now. Yeah. And this is where we're really going to find out about this team.
The same thing, in my opinion, that caused we won to the Rockets, but it wasn't a good win. The same thing applies to this loss right here. We just don't have an identity. In my opinion, we don't have an identity. If Julius Randle, right, is going to be the number one guy, which I have no problem with that, right? Where's the number two? Right? Where's the number two guy? Yeah. Okay. You have the Bulls. They have the number one and the number two, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and you have all facilitating. Where's our number one and where's our number two? I have no problem with Julius Randle being the number one, but where's the number two? I think that we're expecting RJ Barrett to do too much too fast. This is his third year, and he still needs to navigate the NBA. I know that, some people are impatient. Give the man some time. Okay. He's in a slump. Everyone goes through it. But when you're looking at the box score, I mean, it's not always, we can't always rely on our bench to step up for the starting lineup. I'm just sick and tired of the starting lineup. I'm sick and tired of Julius Randle going for 34, right? And then no one else helping him out.
Yeah.
Or Julius Randle going for 16 the other night and no one else doing anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So like, it's not like I don't want to put the blame on just one person or the other, right? All I'm saying is that we don't have an identity, in my opinion. I don't know how we get that identity. I just don't know. Another point that I would like to make, why is it that we have like no offense? We have no offense. We have 4 guys standing on the perimeter, 1 guy in the paint. No one wants to drive. No one wants to do anything. No one wants to play some defense, right? Julius Randle, I love the guy, right? But he's taking the ball up. Why is he ever taking the ball? Like, these are the things that we have to hash out now before the season gets too deep.
Fair points. And I think, and appreciate the call, Bully. I think, the stagnation on the offense comes from the fact, look at how night and day the offense looked, or how things looked when Kemba was attacking in that third quarter. Look how things changed. It was night and day. Conversely, you had the first quarter where, the passes were just, you had lazy passes, sloppy passes. I think we had like 8 turnovers. No aggression, not attacking in the paint. And we had nothing going.
But it's an issue going on with our squad. And the problem I don't like what's going on. I'm trying to figure out how can we go from bad contracts and bad players to finally getting somewhere and getting rid of people in the office and changing over the office staffs and go from, being chosen as a 20 or less team and wind up winning more than 40 games and wind up getting the coach of the year, wind up getting an all-star player and go to the playoffs in the first time in a long time, to saying now we got our culture back, now we ain't got our identity. How in the world do we do that? Go through all that to get to our culture and wind up with no identity on the floor, man. Tom needs to do something about our squad, man. We need to change up and switch up some things immediately, ASAP, man. Ain't no waiting. Ain't no playing around. Ain't no joking. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about how much money you make. I don't care what pick you was picked. You know what I'm saying? If you're not performing, you do not need to be on the floor. We need to stop pampering and babying some of these guys. I don't care if you're 22, 23. You in the league, Some of these guys wake up in the morning, they going in the bathroom like it ain't no mirror in the bathroom. They ain't even seeing their face. So they don't even know how they look. They don't even know how to, to talk to themselves, to motivate themselves, man. I don't know what's happening on, but I tell you one thing, I'm going to that Atlanta game this weekend, and I'm gonna be right behind that bench. I'm gonna be getting right in some of them guys' ear. They know who I am, so I'm gonna do what I gotta do to help motivate and turn this thing around, man. Because this doesn't make no sense, man. This is supposed to be our season. We're supposed to be thinking about getting to the Eastern Conference. Man, we don't even know if we're gonna make the play-in unless we start the bench. I told y'all before, the bench can make the play-in. The starting 5, that's just a plus, but we're not gelling like we're supposed to gel. We need to find the peanut butter so we can have the peanut butter jelly and sandwiches, all that, man. We need to figure these things out real fast, real quick, in a hurry up, man. You know what I'm saying?